Okie dokie. So, today I am doing a little still life of apples, and I'm going to do them. They're in a. Actually, I'm going to make that a bit larger. Where's my eraser? There's my eraser. I've got to make it a little bit larger. Make it a little bit larger. Get the perspective right. So this is quite a large bowl. I can erase things as I need to because the gouache will go over most, if not all, of my little errors if I make any. So I'll pop the base of this bowl is rounded like that too. So it's like that kind of I've got to get the angles the same on the bottom as the top. So that's part of the fun of that one. There's a cloth and apples in front of it. So I'm going to draw the apples in. I'm not so worried about the cloth at the moment. So I'm going to draw the apples, get them where I want them. I think that's a couple of apricots. I've got a couple of apricots there, a couple of bananas around the back, so I'll pop the bananas in. Get those in there, like that. Get the shapes right, whoops. And come around here. Get that banana in. Then there's another banana sort of underneath. They're like in a little bunch. Like that. And then that one actually comes up and around like that. Like that. Then there's another banana. That can disappear off the side. That's fine. There's a couple more apples over here, or I think they might be nectarines. Oh no, they're apples. They're apples, so I'll just draw that in. Get the shapes where I want them. Like that. That one over here. It's almost all in shadow. And he's rolled onto his side a little bit. Like that. Alright. Then there's a few in the bowl. So, there's one here. And it goes almost to the top of the bowl and around the side like that. I've got to change the angle of the top of the bowl. I've got that wrong. As I just saw that. That's the core of the apple. Then there's an apple sort of sitting up here and leaning against the other one. So I'll pop that in like that. And then there's another one behind. And you can only just see it's on a very dark background. An incredibly dark background. And I can only see the reds and the... Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to draw the cores of these apples. Can't see the core on that one. There's a cloth underneath them and the table's back here. So, okay, so I'm sort of happy with that. So now I'm going to spray my gouache paints. Where's my water? Where's my squirty water? There it is. Found my squirty water. So I'm going to spray my gouaches and start with the colour. So first of all, I'm going to do my blue background, and for the blue background I am going to go in, actually it's a blue-green. I might go in with a bit of Prussian blue actually. A little bit of Prussian blue. Get that onto my palette. And I'll add a little bit of green to that, a little bit of turquoise. Make a bluish green. And I'm going to just pop the first layer of paint. So this is, I'm using a mixture of Sennelier and Schminky gouaches because they're my favourite brand. So I'm going to pop base layer of colour on here. And take that all the way around. Oops, doesn't matter, I've got a little bit of yellow in there as well, but oops. And I'm splattering it, but I can go over the background, so that's not a problem at all. And this is all going to be in shadow, all this underneathy bit. So I'll fill that in. So this is just a fun little simple still life, and it's a great way to practice because I don't do a lot of fruit and things like that. Hello, Zargo. How you going, doll? So it's a fun way to practice. So I'm going to pop in some shadow into this bit first. Oh, you changed your name back to Zargo because you weren't Zargo last time. You changed it to something else. How have you been? So I'll just darken this up. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Going good. Awesome. Glad to hear. Glad to hear it. So I'm going to make up another one of that. So I've just added a bit of turquoise, a bit of that dark green, and I'm going to pop that, oh, dark blue, sorry. Take that around the inside. It didn't work the other name. Yeah, fair enough. Sometimes it doesn't. I've changed mine a few times and swapped back. But not here on YouTube, but on Twitch I have. I've sort of altered my names here and there as I've sort of semi-rebranded. So what have you been up to and how have you been? Now that's all dark. I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm just going to leave that. That's all dark. The background is really dark. So I'm going to go, if I've got an indigo, I'm going to add Prussian blue. And I'm going to add a bit of something else. A bit of, what am I going to add to make that dark? I might go, actually I can go a little bit of black into that to really darken up that background. Because it's gouache. I can do that. Because it's gouache. I can go a bit of black. And really darken up that background. Nice. That just gives it a bit of a blue tint, which doesn't look so, because sometimes just black looks rubbish. How you only doing? Yes, I am. Yep. It's just better over here for art. Over there's fun, but it's better for art here. I like that the videos stay up. Over there, you lose your videos. So it defeats the purpose. And I had to double film, and I thought, you know what, I'll just focus on one thing at a time. Do my art here, and I can play games and have fun over there because the majority of my friends over there are gamers. So it's all good. Yeah, because the majority of my friends over there are gamers anyway. So it's been good fun. Good fun. Bit of blue. Now what did I do? A bit of black. Bit of black. And yeah, it's been good fun. So it's been a couple of weeks now. And I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty with Aurora, so that's been fun. We've been getting up to all kinds of mischief in Call of Duty. So the background's quite dark. I'm going to go another layer. And I'm going to darken that a fraction on this side. Because this side is very dark. I can drag that out. Take it around here. All right. Yeah, it's been mad fun. Mad fun. So, yeah. But I'm thinking about starting up a YouTube gaming channel as well. I've just got to figure out how to set it up. Right, so I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. And I'm going to go onto the table. Now, the table's brown. Now you paint fruit like a nice old lady. Oh, yeah. I paint all the things like a nice old lady. The old lady that I am. So the table is wood. And I'm just going in. What colour is that? Bit of natural sienna. And I'm just going to take that around the edge. Did you feel that earthquake? Oh my God, yes. It was horrendous. The biggest earthquake that we've ever had. It was 6 or 5.9 on the Richter scale. We've got cracks in my house. Nothing that can't be fixed, but yeah. Yeah, I rolled across the room. I was in my gaming chair and it rolled across the room like a wave. But Pippi, my little dog, she's sitting there howling at me, and I'm like, "What on earth are you howling at?" Because I'm like, she's sitting there looking at me, just howling. She was warning me, and I was like, "Oh my god!" When it happened, I'm like, "Oh my god, you were trying to tell me there was something wrong." But yeah, she was awesome, my little dog. So we just all ran outside, and the pool had bloody waves on it. The swimming pool had the biggest waves. It was weird. It's crushed one of our doors, like the whole house bent and crushed a door. Hello. Yeah, we did. It was definitely entertaining. It was definitely entertaining and had tremors for a few days, but nothing major, thank goodness. But yeah, we got away unscathed pretty much. A little bit of damage, but not too much. So it's all good. And how you going, Anthony? How you feeling, Dale? How have you been? I'm just going to come around here, fill all this in. All right. Very blocky at the second, but we'll add detail as I go. I was going to squish that up. Okay. Now, the background is modelled. I'm going to go over with a slightly thicker mod of the brown and just add a little bit of texture. This will be a dark shadow in here, so I can go over that a bit more. There's very dark shadows here. That's going to be fun. Doing fine, working through it day by day. Good to hear, mate. Good to hear. As long as you're making sure you're getting enough rest, Dale. That's the hardest part. Is sort of sitting back and going, time to rest. Because if you're anything like my husband, there is no such thing. He doesn't ever stop, and I'm guessing it's not an easy thing to do. All right. So I'm just this is just a bit of texture for the table. I just want it to be a little bit rougher looking, a little bit different, just a little itty bitty bit. So it's exactly the same colour, just thicker, just more pigment, less water. Because I do treat gouache a bit like watercolour, a lot like watercolour, not a bit like watercolour, a lot like watercolour. And you can if you want, or you don't have to. You can treat it like gouache and have it very thick and very heavy. I don't. I do it in layers, starting thin to thick. All right, I'm going to leave that alone. I've got to get me banana shape back. I've lost me nana. I've literally lost me nana, which in Australia is a slang term for going nuts. I've lost me nana. And I've got to change the shape there too, because I've lost the shape of that apple. There's a shadow there. Okay, so now I can go in, and I'm actually going to add the shadows first. Why? Because I can. So I'm going to make a purple with my blue, and I'm going to go cadmium red. Yeah, cadmium red. See what sort of purple we make there. I put way too much purple. I'm going to go Prussian blue and red. Make a dark purple, like that. That works. That works. And I'm going to pop this shadow under here. Because this is, oh, whoops. Oh, it doesn't matter. I can go over that anyway. It's gouache. Yay, gouache does that. So I'm just going to pop my shadows in there. Cad red makes awful purples. It's doing what I want it to do, so I'm a happy camper. It's doing what I want it to do. It's a very dark, almost black, which is what I'm after. I'm going to take that around there. Come around there. All right, so I've got that shadow in there. And then I want this shadow to come around here. And I've changed this a little bit from my reference that I got from Unsplash. I just Googled still lifes and I've altered it to suit myself. I can go over that anyway. So I've lost a little bit of the shapes, but it doesn't matter. All right. Then that shadow there. Comes around here. Oops. I'll fill that in. I need to be using a bigger brush just quietly, but I'm not. I'll learn one day. Come around here. There we go. Fill that. Like that. Okay. And this is just the basic, like the beginning. I will add more layers and build things up. Come around there. Whoops. That comes out the end a little bit. There's a bit of a shadow there. And a bit of a shadow there. Into there. Right, I'll let that dry a little bit. Been taking photos of tomatoes of late. We grew about 12 kilos from only 6 plants. Wow, that's good. That's awesome. That's very awesome. Right, so I'm going to go in first. These apples are very orangey. So I'm going to go in with a bit of my cadmium orange. Make sure my brush is clean. They're a lovely bright apple, but I'm going to go light to dark. I know with gouache you can go dark to light. I still do it my my YouTube, my what do you call it? Watercolor way, because that's the way I know. So I can literally go over that actually. I can just go over that. And one of them gave next to nothing. Wow, that's odd. Just the way the mop flops, I suppose. All right, so come around here. So I'm just blocking. This is just blocking in. Don't freak out at the colour I'm using, because it's going to be many, or a few layers, not many maybe, but a few layers of all different colours. So I'm just blocking in as we speak. Getting all the colours, all the white filled, pretty much. That's what I'm after. Right. Get onto the ones in the bowl. I can go over that one. And there'll be 2 or 3 layers across the whole thing. I was tossing around doing a ballpoint pen drawing today. I wasn't sure. I might do one tomorrow, but we'll see how we go. That's very dark in there, so I'll make up another shadow colour and build up a couple of layers of that. All right. And I can actually use that same orangey yellow for my bananas. I'll add a little bit, touch of green to it. Touch of green, because they're not quite ripe. So I can literally go over all 3 bananas. Fill that in. Like that. I can go over the back of it. Either, with a dither. There we go. So they're blocked in. So now I've left a little bit of snips of white on the outside, which doesn't matter. Okay, so I am going to make another shadow colour. I'm going to clean that out. I'm going to go magenta this time. Make a different blue, a different purple. Bit of a softer purple. I'm going to go in. Oops, doesn't matter if that bleeds into that orange a little bit, because... And I'm going to blend that out. Soften that edge a little bit. I can go over that. I'll take that into the front part of this shadow. And blend it. Just pinkies it up a little bit. I'll soften that. don't like what I've done with that banana, but I'll fix it. So that's magenta and ultramarine. Just going over that a little bit. You doing Inktober? No, I don't think so. Nah. I'm just not motivated. And because I've got Drawsome with Rory, with Aurora. So I've got prompts. I don't feel the need. And I'm so busy at the moment. So I think I'll give it a miss. I'm just going to try and soften this edge. So I'm just going to wet my brush and try and soften it. It's not going to work, sort of, not really, doesn't matter. I can go over that after. I'm going to leave that alone and I'm going to go back to my blues. This will either work or it won't. I've got to darken up in here. So I'll go a darker blue shadow to the inside of this bowl, the lip of the bowl. Are you doing it? Haven't made up your mind? Yeah, I can't be bothered. I'm too tired. I've got art shows to paint for. And I prefer to do one good piece than lots of ordinary little ones. And being tied to every day, it's too much pressure. Too much pressure. I've done it for a couple of years and I've lost interest. And last year I did it twice, actually. I did two. I did one for the dogs and one cartoony one and one serious one. And yeah, I think I'll just play a lot more games and do serious art. All right, so I've just got to come around the edge a little bit. How have I lost that? Okay, that's fine. And then this is nearly all dark. You can see I'm starting to build up. Yeah, I'm struggling because I do Twitch and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all the things. I haven't got time. I just got to go, you know what? It's too much. Too much. Not enough time in the day. And a family and a farm. So yeah, not happening. I don't think. Lost interest because of the controversy. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. That side of it I didn't care about. That's just he said, she said. But, you know, I enjoyed it the last few times. But yeah, I'm done. My life's too short to get involved in controversy. So I'll take that around here. And what's that? So I've got shadow on that side as well. I've got to take that angle out a little bit. Like that. And blend. I'm liking that. It's coming together. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. We're on the right track. I can leave the background quite simple. Right. There's a shadow up here I forgot. So I'm going to go back to my purpley colour. There's a shadow up here that I've got to block in. So a bit of blue and a bit of, where did it go? Where did it go? Oh my God, magenta, that's the one. I lost me magenta. Silly me. Bit of magenta. Whoops, get a bit of water in there. Take that up there. There's a shadow up here. And come around like that. All right, I'm happy with that. I've got to tidy up this shadow because I made a little bit of a mess of that one. A little bit of a mess. All right. Come around there. Didn't get involved, just can't be bothered. Yeah, I can't be bothered. Too many people with too many opinions. I just stay right away. I enjoyed it. It was fun. but I'm too tired to do it this year. All right, there's actually a shadow around here that I didn't see before. All right, and yeah, there's a gap in there, so I'll pop that little gap in there. Take that around. Righto, cool. All right, I reckon I can go another. Actually, no, I'm going to go back over my banana there. I've got to tidy this up a little bit. So I'm going to get some pure orange and just go over that. All right. I will go over that again, actually, in a minute. I'm going to darken up this underside of these nannies. Good old nannies. Get that in there. Then come around. Right that. Righto. That's sort of showing you a little bit of three-dimensionalness. Now I'm hungry looking at food is not good. Yeah, I agree. I always get, one of my mates on Twitch, Trip, he always talks about food, and I never ever get out of his stream without feeling hungry. I always feel hungry. Always. Because they always talk about food, and it's so yummy. That's actually got a little bit of green, so I'll add that. But I'm just doing the first layers. So I'm just going to leave that. That's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go to these apples, and I'm going to start to add reds. But I'm going to go in with ruby first. I'm going to put some ruby red on. And I'm going to take that around on this apple. And he posts food all the time. Yes. He's a cook. He's a beautiful cook. And he works in a bakery. So, yeah, he does. He's a foodie. He's very definitely a foodie. A very good foodie. And he actually does, occasionally, he does cooking streams, which is really fun. Called Trip to the Kitchen. Right, so I'm just going to pop this red. And I'm letting the orange sort of glow through a little bit. I've lost the shape of that apple a little. But I can take it back because it's gouache. I can actually do that and alter the shape a little bit. Because that'll help me to do that. Now I'll get some more of that ruby. More of that ruby red. This one is more light. It's less ripe. So the one side of it is a lot brighter orangey yellow than the other. And it's in shadow too, but I'm going to do this colour first and follow the shape. I've got to blend that out a little bit. Soften it. Soften that into there. Like that. And then drag it with a damp brush. So you can still see that underneath colour nicely. I really enjoy painting. I found that I really enjoy painting fruit. I don't know where that interest came from, but I think I did mandarins the one day and I just was like, I really enjoyed painting that. I would never have thought, after being an animal artist for so many years, that I would enjoy painting fruit. But I do. A lot. It's very relaxing. Very relaxing. So I come down and around here. And I'll blend that out. And I will go in with a few different reds. Just going to take that right over the top of that apple. There'll be a few different tones. So this is just your first. Got to remember to go to follow the shape of the fruit. Like that. It's dark around that backside edge. I'm going to go in. I'm going to make that a little bit stronger around that outside. Like that. And then around the centre of the core. So the core is actually really dark, but I'll darken that up in a minute. Darken this side. Got a bit of dust on me doodah. And then that comes around like that. Around there. All right. Go back onto this apple. And start to strengthen up this red. Start to get a little bit of shape on them. That's the plan. Get a little bit of shape happening. I do love gouache. Gouache is good fun for this. I think gouache and watercolour are definitely my favourite mediums. And that's got to be very dark red, so I better be careful with that and make that a bit darker. So I'll go back onto this apple. So the shadows on that are actually, I'm going to go a darker red, maybe a Helios. Might go a Helios red if I can get it to do its thing. It's a slightly stronger sort of a red. Come around here. Alright, I'm going to blend that round. Blend that round. Blendy, blendy, blendy. Alright. And soften it. Like that. I'm not 100% happy with that one, but I can fix it. I'm going to go a little bit of red, a little bit of orange back on there. Like that. And let that blend in. I think I've lost the shape. I think that's what's happened. I've got to get the shape back a little bit. That one's looking a bit like an apricot. I've got to pop the shadow on too, actually. Got to pop the shadow on. So I'm going to pop a bit more orange back on this one. All right. And I haven't done that one, so I've got to do that one. So I've got to actually get a little bit more of that blue, really diluted, and just add another. It just needs to just come up a little bit darker. Just a tiny tone, just soften that tone a little bit. All right, now onto this apple. Come around. That. Put that into the middle. Come around this outside. Like that. I'm going to change the shape in it again a little bit. Change the shape just a little bit. So in the reference photo, these are actually sitting on a cloth. But with gouache, you can change shapes. You can change it to however you want it. And I'm adjusting things. This is a dirty apple. I need to clean that up a little bit. Get some more Helios. Let that dry a little bit. Actually, and I'll go a little bit of ruby. I'll go back in with my ruby red, like that. Bring that into the centre, around here. I'm trying to regain the shape a little bit. There we go. Right, and then I've got to actually do that to the bottom. The bottom's got a little bit of that shape, sort of a little bit rounded on the bottom, and then the core goes into there. Come around the outside like that. Just pop a few little shapy, textury bits. I'm going to go back onto these ones now. Go back into my ruby red and strengthen up, whoops, the red on this. Just get it another tone or two darker and stronger. This is a much darker shadow on this side, but I am still building up, just trying to get the shapes of these apples right, the shapes of the fruit, how I want them. Got to do dark into the core. And they've got lovely highlights on them too when I get to that. I'm excited to do the highlighty parts. That'll really make them pop to life and be lots of fun. Looking good. We're getting there. We're getting there. I've just got to be patient and keep at it. Keep softening edges and getting shapes, and I've got to change the shape of this one a little bit under there like that. Make it a bit of a, give it that little turned uppy bit they have underneath. All right. I mean, it's not photographic by any means. I'm a little bit impressionist the way I work. So I come around here, grab a bit more ruby. Come around here. Like that. And then there is shadow on this one. I've got to figure out, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to approach the shadow on these because it's quite dark. So, but we'll figure that out. Got to go. It's almost 4 a.m. Oh my God, yes, go to bed. Good night. Wow, good, yes. Sleep well, Dull. Thank you for popping in. It's always lovely to see you. I'm just going to pop some little dots around. It's always lovely to see you, Dull. But yes, you definitely need to go to bed. I don't know how you stay up that late, Dull. Okay, so pop all that down around there. And I've got to go back up onto these ones that are up in the top. So, and you can see it's dried back a couple of tones lighter because the gouache does dry back a fraction lighter. There is colour shift. No matter what you do, you'll end up with colour shift. You sort of, once you've practiced with them a bit, you get to know how much deeper you've got to go, how many more layers. You sort of get a feel for it. I've used them enough that I sort of know. It's great to talk to you too, Dull. Sleep well and thank you. All right, I'm happy with that. And that's actually a really dark shadow. I might even have to use a purple to darken up the darkest darky bits. Maybe, I'm thinking. I'm not happy. That apple's a bit muddy looking. Get up late, very late. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wake up at dawn. I'm up at 5 a.m. and yeah, I'm a very early riser. I think I was up at 4:30 this morning. But I'm in bed early. I'm in bed like 9 o'clock at night. My kids stay up late. I can't do it though. All right, I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. And I'm going to go onto my bananas. And I'm going to go into got to clean my palette off. Go into my banana up the top here with a bit of yellow, a bit of greeny yellow onto this top side. It's not really going to work though, I don't think, what I want it to do. Oh yeah, no, well, it might. I'm going to add a bit of white to that, a bit of white to my yellow, and really quite pale, make it quite pale. Like that, onto this top side. Bring that around over the top. Oops, not enough yellow in there. Get a bit more yellow. That's okay. All right. We're getting there. Because this part of the banana is quite pale. That part right there is a little bit pale. And there's a little bit of light there. And under here. And then it gets darker. It goes around there like that. All right, I'm going to smooth that out now. Blendy, blendy, blendy. It's very light there. So I can just blend that out like that. And then I'll move on to the next banana. That one is light round here. Light around there. Take it round. Like that. And then that one. Got to get some light in there. Right, and I'm going to go dark. It's a brown, so I'm going to use a bit of burnt sienna. Bit of burnt sienna. Get the burnt sienna. There we go. Nope. Doesn't want to lift. There we go. Doesn't want to wet. No. I'm going to touch that with my cloth. Get a bit more. Okay. Bit of burnt sienna. Get that onto the end where the bananas are brown. Like there. And start to add that just to make them look right. You can't see the one on the other end. Alright, that's alright. Right, and then I'm going to go an even darker brown. I'm going to go my Van Dyke brown into there as well while it's still a little bit damp, and just really get those ends of those things dark. Same in, I'm going to use that Van Dyke brown in the core of my apple as well, just to get that quite dark in there, like that. And you can't see any of the others, so I'm just going to leave that like that. Actually, I can sort of see that one. I'm just going to do a little bit like that, just to suggest that's there, and this one actually, like that. There we go. All right. I'm going to leave that like that. Now, I've got to do shadows. I'm going to go to a clean bit of cloth because I'm holding a very icky cloth. And now, what colour are these shadows? These shadows are really dark. I'm going to make that. I'm going to use my Prussian. And I'll go my magenta again. And I've got to get this shadow around here, like that. And I've got to blend it. Blend it so it's soft. Like that. So I'm starting to get the shadows in. And I've got to really darken up. I can actually use that same shadow. I can take it onto the bowl itself. And it's very dark up here on that part of the apple. And it comes up, the shadow comes up into there. And it's almost black into that bit there, but I'll do another layer. So take that up here. Like that. Just trying to get these shadows, and this apple is really dark. Actually, the shadow on it is like that and like that. So I take that around there, and then actually around the bottom of it as well. The bottom third or half, almost half of it, like that. And I can actually take that onto the shadow, onto the table as well. Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there. And then this shadow has a shadow on here. So I'm going to go back into my magenta and my Prussian. Make that purple again. Get a bit more water in there so it's a bit more fluid, a bit easier to flow. Come around here and darken that shadow there. Like that. Oops. And then I can actually take that shadow up there. Right, I'm happy with that. Ish. Just going to tidy up that shape around that edge of that one. Like that. All right. Again, darken this shadow. Go over the top, being careful not to go too heavy because you'll smudge the underneath layers. You can drag it all in together and make a bit of a mess. It's really easy to do with gouache. You've got to be a little bit careful. And then I've got to darken up under here. Make this a lot darker where it goes in underneath there. Like that. And it's almost the same colour as the background. I'm going to darken this up a bit more on that part. And then take that all the way around. And under here. Right. Like that. All right. This one doesn't have so much. It's a little bit darker, but not a lot. So pop that around there, like that. All right. Blue, bit of magenta. Make that beautiful dark purple. Change that shape of that apple a little bit. Get that dark under there. I'm just going to take that also to the very bottom of that banana. Like that. Just in that one spot. You don't need it everywhere. Same as here. I'll pop it in there. Like that. Just to ground that a bit more. Darken up in there. I can use this same purpley colour into the darkest darks on the vase or the bowl, the fruit bowl. And then I can really darken up this here around this back side of the bowl. Like that. So you can see I'm starting to get lots of layers. And I've got to really darken up this. So I'm just using the same shadow colours. It's basically all the same colours. Take that around there. Blend that around. Just soften that a little bit. Just dry brush just that bit. Because it helps to keep it a little bit softer like that. Alright, I'm happy with that. Now, I'm going to go a little bit of yellow ochre onto my bananas. Get a little bit of yellow ochre. Because I want to get some lines happening. I've got to get a bit yellow ochre there. Get them a bit more banana looking. Because they're not having a banana moment. We've got to get them looking banana-y. Get the shape onto them. There's a bit of a browny bit there. Go back into my yellow ochre. And then it's time for highlights, which will be fun. Get a bit of banana colour, a bit of yellow ochre there. A bit of yellow ochre here. Take that around like that. I'm happy with that. And then come around here into that line like that. All right. I'm happy with that. Now, fun bit. I'm going to pop some light on. Pop some white on. Get some beautiful bright white. And pop that onto the side. Let's get some shine happening on these bits of fruit. There's a beautiful bit of shine there. Like that. And it's literally just a blob, but in the direction of the fruit, like that. I'm going to add a little bit of that around the tip of the bowl, because there is a bit of light reflecting on there. And I'll smudge that around there like that. It helps to bring it to life. There is a little bit of light on the tips of these bananas, like that. I'm going to go back in with my yellow, if I can get it to go clean enough. There we go. I've got to add a bit of that, a bit more water into that. Want it to be a little bit softer. Coming down there. Like that. I'm happy with that. Look at that. They've got a real glow to them now. That really helps. It's lovely. That's what I love about gouache. You can get a beautiful glow with it. You really can. It's just amazing. It's a beautiful medium. But I reckon that is not far from done. I reckon I'm going to call that. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to sign it down here. I think we're done. And I'm going to pull off these side bits to show you how good it can look with the edges clean. And we are just about done. So, there you go, peeps. That is a gouache painting of a bowl of fruit from start to finish. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, peeps. Have an awesome day, and I will see you